Hi, I hate Latakia but love Lane 1Q. I only smoke it in cobs. I own a Venturi pipe but have never smoked it. Welcome to Markwood Men's Breakfast Club.
Hey guys, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth from theshrinkingpastor.com.
And the three of us, we're Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Welcome to another interesting morning. It just so happens that today I am in Orlando, Florida. Boy, where are you right now?
I am in my kitchen, my dining room at High Point, North Carolina.
So this is the best we can do. Welcome to this week's episode of Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. We thought we'd go ahead and try yet again something different, and we'll see how this works. I'm sure because we're recording this through Skype, it'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes. But we are also planning on making up for going as long as we did last week. Just want to bring you guys up to speed on what's been going on and
why we're coming to you telecast from two parts of the planet.
Exactly. So I happen to be down here conducting training. I'm trapped in a Hilton Garden Inn near the airport in Orlando, so right in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing remotely interesting where I am. But after my first day of training today, I was able to sit out on the veranda with my Missouri Meerschaum General pipe and was able to smoke some Drew Estates. What is this again? Central Park Stroll. And I'll read you what this is. This is exactly my kind of tobacco. It says, we really cherish the days when we strolled through Central Park on a lazy summer afternoon. The sweet aroma makes you feel like you're standing outside a bakery. Notes of chocolate, vanilla, and caramel blend harmoniously with mellow tobaccos. It's considered a black Cavendish in the flavorings of alcohol, liqueur, cocoa, chocolate, and vanilla. And I got to say, it was good stuff. If you happen to like a black Cavendish, if you're like a Lane 1Q fan, I can highly recommend this. Boy hasn't had a chance to try this. I broke the seal on it this evening.
Wait. You like Lane 1Q? I know a guy who likes Lane 1Q. That's interesting.
Hey, there was a fight that broke out in Chicago over Lane 1Q.
Yeah. Only the one, though.
Yeah. I got to show you. This was interesting. I checked into my hotel room and was putting some things away. And I noticed, you know how sometimes housekeeping will do some fancy things with towels and things like that.
Swans, geese.
And they left this. See this teddy bear?
What?
It's a washcloth.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool? He's kind of wrapped it together with some little white elastic bands.
And kind of really creepy.
It is kind of creepy. It's got a decal for a face, but
wow,
I like it. There's your screenshots, huh?
Yeah. I've never seen anything quite that intricate.
No, it's kind of cool. Hey, so I thought before we get into a little bit of kind of serious discussion of some stuff that went on this week, I would share with you something, a little bit of advice for those of you who stay in hotel rooms, or if you don't often stay in a hotel room and you find yourself like me trapped in one. Almost every hotel room today is non-smoking. So though I was smoking my pipe outside, I'm not going to be smoking it inside. But what do I do with this? I mean, it smells like I've been smoking this pipe. Well, if you didn't plan ahead, one smart thing you can do is hanging in your closet. There is a laundry bag that you can put laundry in and send it out to be washed if you're staying for several days. You can use these to wrap up your spent pipe. You can, of course, use it for your dirty laundry to put into your luggage so that your unworn laundry doesn't smell like your worn laundry, or if you are wearing something that got smoky, it can also go in the bag. Something that I've learned from all my travels, and it really it ends up having a much fresher luggage when I arrive at home if I take advantage of those bags that, in this case, the Hilton Garden Inn was kind enough to provide for me. And look what else I'm doing, boy.
Nice. Yep. That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
We were a bit distracted this weekend, boy. You want to bring up to speed on that?
Yeah, so this was, we were intending to record this in person. We were both in town over the weekend and had planned to do another kind of crank out session, record a few episodes, get them in the can. But something happened this weekend. My almost 2-year-old son, he'll be 2 in June, we took him to the hospital on Thursday, early Thursday morning for some tests. Now, he is really, really short for his age. He's almost 2, and he looks like he's about 12 months, just in height. And so we've been seeing a doctor about that. And really, we're really blessed. He's pretty much awesome all the time. The only time he's ever given us any trouble is when it comes to drinking. Drinking water, drinking milk, drinking juice.
He cannot hold his liquor.
He cannot, no. Try as I might. I drink him under the table every time. No, he has a severe drinking problem. He will drink 4 glasses of water in a meal, and many times would actually prefer to drink than to eat his lunch or dinner. And so it's a constant fight. It's having to tell him, no, you've had enough. You need to eat something, or, eat a few bites and then you can have a little bit to drink. And really, the only time he ever cries is when we have to cut him off. And so we've been asking, So we've been asking our doctor about this for about 1.5 years. Asking, this doesn't seem normal. And my mother-in-law, she has a condition known as diabetes insipidus. Now, the natural reaction is to hear diabetes and to think, oh, well, it's diabetes. Except it's not at all related to that. It has nothing to do with insulin or blood sugar, but in fact has to do with how your body processes water and salt in your blood. And so basically, we were able to get some blood work done on him 1.5 weeks ago, and it showed that he could have this. In fact, when our doctor called, she said, now, his blood work and his urine show that he might have this thing called diabetes insipidus. And we said, really? You don't say. We haven't been telling you this for the last 1.5 years. Yeah, we've heard of that. And so it's an incredibly rare disease condition. I don't know. And so Thursday, we were supposed to go in for a single day of testing. He did a 24-hour water and food deprivation study. So for 24 hours, he didn't have anything to drink or anything to eat. And then for the next...
And in the meantime, they were pricking this kid all over his body. When I saw him for the first time on... When did I come up? Was I there Thursday or Friday?
No, it was probably...
Friday morning.
Friday.
He had Band-Aids on the top of both feet, on the heels of both feet. He had an IV in his arm. He was patched up all over. And this kid, poor kid, whenever anybody walked into the room in blue scrubs, and this is a kid that is normally just cool as a cucumber, he would get real clingy and upset. I mean, he knew that the next thing to happen was somebody's going to be poking on him.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other cool thing is that every time they would finish and leave, through tears, he'd tell them, thank you.
I know.
And it just broke their heart. They hated having to do it. So what this condition does is, the long and short of it is there's something going on with your kidneys. And normally your kidneys will process your blood, and they pull out of your blood, among other things, water, which turns into urine, and salt, which also goes into your urine. Well, when you have diabetes insipidus, your kidneys pull a lot of water, but no salt. And so what happens over time is not only do you end up urinating just about everything that you drink, But as you do that, your body keeps building up its salt reserves in the blood. So you have a very high sodium content, which makes you thirsty. So you drink more, and the more you drink, the more you urinate. But your blood still has the salt in it, so you drink more, and you can never be satisfied with your thirst. Some people, some adults, they say they pee between 3 and 20 liters a day, and they are still thirsty at the end of it. So after a lot of tests, figuring out that yes, he has it, yes, he has this type, and they're pretty confident now that he has the rarest form of it, which is the genetic form, which is what we suspect his grandmother has. It's weird because it doesn't typically skip a generation, which is one of the reasons why they didn't think maybe he had it, but they're going to test him next to see if it's actually genetic. But after all of this, he went through 48 hours of testing on this medication, which is pulling the salt out of his bloodstream. And now it's actually weird for us in a totally opposite way because he's acting normal. He didn't want to drink a gallon of water at lunch, which is so bizarre for him. We keep asking him, do you want something to drink? And he says, no. So this is supposed to help his growth because instead of being full of water, he'll be full of food, and so he'll get more nutrients. The other risk of this, and it's one of those things that you can treat it. My doctor overheard me. So my mother-in-law lives with it without treatment, and she just drinks water, and that's it. She just drinks a lot of water. And my doctor overheard me talking to somebody about the hillbilly treatment method is just drinking water, because you don't need medicine if you're drinking gallons and gallons a day. But with this medicine, it should help him a lot. One of the biggest risks is dehydration. When you have this condition, if you're not being treated for it, you can get dehydrated like crazy. After the 24-hour water deprivation, his eyes were sunken in, his ribs were showing. He was not in good shape. Every time my mother-in-law has a cold or a flu, she gets really, really sick because her body dehydrates about 3 times faster than the rest of ours. So we're grateful that all the testing is done, but we were supposed to be there Thursday only. We were there Thursday. We didn't leave until Monday afternoon. So it was an adventure. It was rough, but it's good. He's doing much better
Well,
now.
I posted a picture on Instagram because all 3 of my grandsons were together in the hospital, and the 2 older grandsons, which are our daughter's boys, were standing at Ender's bedside and reaching out and touching him and just loving on him, and it was so cute. And I posted that on Instagram and said, hey guys, appreciate your prayers. Thank you so much for the positive feedback on that and for your prayers. We really we sent out a big old yay God on this because it looks like he has turned the corner, and at least they know what it is, they know how to deal with it, and that's just fantastic. So thank you, boy, for updating us on that, and I hope you didn't mind that I shared that picture. It was such a monumental thing in our lives this weekend that I just wanted to, share it with all of our buds. So.
Yeah, we kind of went into it expecting it to be, again, simple-ish, and because he was water deprived when we first arrived there, his salt content was about 10 points higher, and it's a scale. Typically, normal is between 135 and 145. I don't know in relation to what. That's just what I've been told. His at resting is in the 155 range, so 10 points higher than most normal people. And when he was water deprived, it was in the 165 range. So his blood, you can actually visibly see it when they drew it. It was like sludge, and so they were just having the hardest time getting his veins. In fact, one of the cool things is cool but kind of terrible. They, after the third failed IV attempt, they called in the transport team. The transport team, I feel like I've seen that movie. The transport team, they are the nurses that fly on the emergency helicopter. And they're the ones that can put an IV into a person who's having a seizure and bleeding out while shifting in the wind of the helicopter. And they came in, 3 of them, in these fire retardant flight suits. I asked them about it. They have to wear it. Fire retardant flight suits. And they just swarmed him. And in less than 5 minutes, they did what a couple other nurses hadn't been able to do. They had an IV in him. The IV worked all weekend. Another time they had to draw blood. One nurse tried 2 times, and they said, okay, I couldn't get anything. I'm calling the transport team again. They came in, and one of the head nurse spent about 20 minutes looking for a good vein, and he was using lights and using all these cool tools to find the perfect vein. And the transport team comes in again in their flight suits, and he says, I found this one. I think this is a good one. And she kind of grabs his hand, and she says, oh, you're right. That is a good one. We'll save that one for you guys for later. And she just goes over here, and she just goes, boop, there you go. 2 minutes. Not even kidding. 2 minutes in and out. He's like, okay, you guys have a great day. This little gray-haired, glassity, looked like she should be someone's grandma, just came in and did what all of these nurses were unable to do. It was cool.
I don't know if you guys can see this picture, but there he was. He had his IV in his hand. He had a splint to keep his wrist straight, and then they wrapped all of that in a diaper. And so, of course, when I first saw this, I put a diaper on my hand too, so he wasn't so self-conscious about having a diaper. Turns out he didn't care.
No, he stopped caring pretty early on. And that's my son Ender, named for the main character in the book Ender's Game, which is also a movie. This is since we're showing off and showing things on camera. Oh, nice. Yeah.
There he is. There he is with the splint on his hand.
And there he is with his grandfather, who he affectionately calls Gah. I like that picture a lot. That was when Dad had climbed inside of a spaceship that was on the rooftop park. I have this cool playground area on the roof of the hospital. Here he is wearing the...
Donated in part by Kyle Petty and his family.
Yeah, there's Dad wearing the spaceship, unable to get out. Maybe I'll post that video for you guys later.
And maybe you won't.
Yeah.
So, one more story to relate to you, and we'll wrap this up. This last week, I again posted on Instagram, was dealing with our water heater that went out. Not only did the water heater die on us, and actually it wasn't even the water heater, it was the corrosion of the plumbing that was leading into the water heater completely corroded through, and we were getting water all over the garage. Thank goodness my bride caught that when it was just moist in the garage and not hadn't gone crazy yet. So I'm dealing with the water heater all by myself. In the meantime, our washer dies. Now, all of our appliances were purchased when we bought the house 11 years ago, and so they're all dying at the exact same time, which is, I guess, the norm. So in preparation for this trip, I called Boy up and asked, hey, can I swing by your house and do my laundry? And, of course, Seth says, sure. Our washer's dead. Why not? Go ahead and use his. So this morning, I'm ironing my shirt. My shirts just don't travel. I just have to plan on ironing them when I get to the hotel. So I'm ironing my shirt, and I get 3/4 of the way around the shirt. I'm flipping it over to the last side, and there's a big old stain on it. Like, crap. Thank you for wasting my time, shirt. So I throw it aside, grab another shirt out of my out of my bag. I begin to iron it, and I'm only on the first side, and there's a big old stain. What is up with this? I grab my next shirt out of my out of the bag. Looks just fine on the front, so I start to iron it. I flip it over to the back. It has a huge stain. I mean, it was like, I don't know, like somebody added a quart of oil to the washer. So, boy, there's either something up with your washer or your dryer. But so unplanned, I had to go out tonight and buy. Well, I bought everything. I bought the spray-on spot cleaner. I bought the stuff that makes your laundry detergent boost what it does. I bought laundry detergent. I bought fabric softener sheets. the last thing I had planned on doing in my first full day here in Orlando was spending an hour doing laundry. But the good news is, I checked out down front and they said it takes a half hour for the washer to do its thing and a half hour for the dryer to do its thing.
Nice.
So I found something to do on the veranda while I was waiting that hour, and that was that tobacco I showed you earlier. So, yeah, and I'm leaving behind all of the laundry products with one of the guys that lives here locally. So he'll be traveling home and having to explain to his wife while he has a bag of laundry products.
Well,
it made me explain it.
That's good to know. I did all of my laundry last night. After you have had done that, I haven't noticed any stains. So I don't know what's up.
Do you iron your clothes and inspect them like I was doing this morning?
No.
Yeah.
It's funny. No. I know I have mustard stains on one of my pants, but no.
But what was funny is I'm coming home from dinner. We all went to Carrabba's this evening, and I'm telling everybody just in case that they don't come out, I want them to know, hey, I'm coming to class tomorrow with stains on my shirt. So I'm telling them, yeah, that's crazy. I got to go do some laundry right now because I have these stains. And somebody said, well, why don't you just rewear the shirt you're wearing? I get a stain on it from Carrabba's. Where do these stains come from?
I don't know.
So I'm going to be back home this weekend. It's my daughter's birthday. It's the grand opening of the Big Burger Spot, location number 2 in Greensboro. Yeah, they have their first partial day on Saturday.
Excellent.
So it's like from 11 to 3, so we got to go check that out. And we got to get together and record some Markwood Men's Breakfast Clubs, boy.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, before we go, we probably should mention, because we dropped a bomb on our last video, we are still keeping on top of the all the FDA stuff. We really appreciate everyone who's jumped in with links, with extra information. We've seen some phenomenal things, various petitions. I think, and everyone who's kind of jumped in and said, "Wow, I really need to educate myself." I mean, that for us was the whole reason we filmed that video, just to let you guys know this is going on, and it's sneaky right now, and it's not going to be getting better. Somebody from, was it New Zealand, maybe, saying that they pay about $50 for a 50-gram tin of tobacco right now. That floored me. That is insane. And that's because it's just taxed like crazy. In fact, I was reading something the other day. North Carolina's already trying to pull a tax on e-cig stuff. An extra tax. In addition to the normal state tax, they're trying to attach a sin tax to it, the same as cigarettes. So,
yeah, you know what? I was reading something today too. Hold on, just a second. I got some more news.
Well,
Say something.
Yeah, while you work on that, I have been working on compiling links, compiling videos, compiling information onto our Markwood Men's Breakfast Club .com website or MMBClub.com. Those things are not live yet because they're incomplete. I know I told you last week I would have them to you this week, but extenuating circumstances have prevented that. But they're coming. I'm going through and actually personally writing up kind of a synopsis of some of the key parts of the bill that apply to cigarette or cigar smokers, pipe smokers, and e-cig smokers. Someone else brought up a great point in the comments. Well, what about the cigarette guys? Because we're also getting screwed. You're absolutely right. You guys have been getting screwed for a while. But I think my comment to that, or my reply to that, was that really the best opportunity that the rest of us have to act and to keep things from getting worse is right now. Because if it goes through, if anything goes through, that becomes the norm. And we all know how difficult it is to reverse bad decisions within the government. The best chance we have is to stop the bad decisions before they're actually implemented. So cigarette guys, yes, we are behind you, because I think that's also ridiculous. The taxes and things you guys have to pay. All
right, so get this. This is in New Jersey, right? The New Jersey Senate, a subcommittee, has voted to move forward on higher taxes on e-cigs. And let me find the quote that just made me scream. Here we go. E-cigs are a fairly new product that is increasing in popularity across the state and around the country, and we're still learning the health and safety risks and implications associated with them. With federal regulations not yet in place, these devices often contain toxic substances, carcinogens, and unregulated amounts of nicotine. Senator Joseph Vitale, of Democrat of Middlesex, who is the chairman of the Senate Health Committee and is one of the bill's sponsors. Hopefully, by increasing the tax on these items, we can curb the usage of electronic cigarettes and keep young people from starting an unhealthy and often deadly habit. Really? They know nothing about the product, and yet here they are casting... Huh?
Which they say, we don't know anything about it, but it's deadly. Often deadly.
So under the regulation, manufacturers of electronic cigarettes would face a 75% tax on the devices that they sell to retailers, which range in price from $12 to several $100s each. A 75% tax.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
Consumers of cigars, loose tobacco, and chewing products would see taxes rise from 30% to 68%, generating $22 million a year. For each cigar, for example, consumers would pay $2.70 in taxes, just like a pack of cigarettes. Smokeless tobacco users would pay $4.15 an ounce, according to the bill. So, hey, isn't that interesting? This all begins with a discussion of e-cigs and moves to all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wake up, New Jersey. They're coming after you. And the rest of us will be next. So
the only reasonable news I heard last week was I read an article where the head of the head of the FDA has said pretty much, we recognize that they are not as dangerous as cigarettes. However, we still want to test them to better understand their long-term effects, and we feel that they still fall under our jurisdiction. So that guy is being mostly reasonable about e-cigs. Meanwhile, the CDC is saying they're evil, they're terrible. How dare you say that, FDA? They're the same as cigarettes, and they're killing people. They talk about poison control and all sorts of stuff. So, a lot of angry people, a lot of ignorant, angry people.
Yeah. Hey, I had a conversation with somebody who was anti-e-cigs recently, and they were saying, but they're really, really dangerous. And I said, really? How can you prove that? And their response is, well, how can you prove that they're not? Hey, you know what? I can't, but I'm the one that's doing it, not you. So, anyway,
sure.
It's funny how both sides really are willing to argue in their ignorance. In my case, I'm talking about it. It's my right. It's my body. In their case, I don't know what they're after, but I'm going to have to switch to pot soon, because that's going to be the only thing that's going to be legal to smoke.
And not taxed.
All right, boy, let's wrap this up. Guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Again, as Boy said, hopefully we'll be able to get back to our regular format next week. Tell us what you think of this. We might have to do this again. And did it suck completely? I don't know.
I want to point out, I'm not the one that made the promise that this video was going to be shorter than last time. So I'm not the one that has broken a promise to you tonight. So,
Have a wonderful day, guys. Make it a great week.
Thanks for watching. Bye.